What's up, everyone? Welcome to my very humble channel. Today, we're going to talk about the carnivore diet, but Joe Rogan's version of this diet. I feel that a lot of people out there are trying carnivore, people who are notable, famous, whatever. They're trying carnivore, but with the wrong information. And they hit these walls. Today, we're going to go over some of the things that Joe Rogan did that I feel could be done better if the poor guy had had the proper information. So let's pull up the video and let's go into it. Let's hear what he's got to say about some of the things I think he probably could have done better with.
Rocketing diarrhea
from meat. That's
from all meat. Yeah, this is what Dr. Sean Baker, who's like one of the head carnivore proponents, is like his whole life revolves around eating steak and deadlifting. It's kind of hilarious, and getting people to eat meat and try this carnivore diet. And
okay, so right there, I love Sean Baker. I think he's amazing. But still, there's some aspects about this diet I think that a lot of the gurus don't go into. But because I've done a ketogenic diet for so long and carnivore, I can recognize things that people like Sean Baker may not be able to see. For example, the diarrhea. The diarrhea, my people, most likely is for a few reasons. It's beyond just the gallbladder. Now, when people are eating fatty cuts of meat, their gallbladder is not used to these fatty cuts and they're either releasing too much bile. They might see green color in their stool, or they might have sludge or stones in their gallbladder, which means that their body cannot properly break down the fat and the Hershey squirts start. Now, with a lot of people, this resolves itself after a few weeks. In some cases, people could have diarrhea up to a year and may not even realize they're having any gallbladder issues like stones or sludge. But let's listen to a little bit more.
some of them have had some pretty radical health benefits, and I'm so curious about that because I know that sometimes people convince themselves that something is better for them.
Okay, so there are a lot of health benefits with a carnivore diet. I'm going to go over some of those benefits. Yeah. Well, a lot of my videos are about how this stuff, like, it's not the best to do strict carnivore for a very long time. And the reason why I don't push carnivore for like strict carnivore forever. Now, in this video, Joe is talking about he's eating a lot more fatty cuts of meat, but he's not driving ketosis. He thinks he's in ketosis, but he's not driving ketosis. But the benefits are, if you're having any type of radical inflammation, right? You're having plaque psoriasis, severe eczema, severe allergy symptoms, mast cell, histamine reactions to, let's say, your garden variety of dairy or eggs or avocados or cinnamon or chocolate or your spinach, which I don't push anyway, or any vegetables, and you're not aware of the fact that you're having a histamine response and you're having headaches or nausea or stomach aches or sleepless nights or joint pain, doing a carnivore diet for the short term can take down that inflammation. The problem is that over time, people have a difficulty, number one, to get into ketosis on a strict carnivore diet. And number two, they're missing a matrix or fiber to keep the gut bacteria balanced, right? Because fiber is a prebiotic for the probiotic to attach to, which helps keep the gut microbes in balance. Believe it or not, you can rebound on a carnivore diet and then become even more histamine latent. The diamine oxidase, which is an antihistamine, natural, can go down. And now after doing carnivore for a year, you're starting to get bloated on foods that you ate in the past that were no problem. But let's watch a little bit more of his conversation about the carnivore diet and his experience. Let's see here. Y'all, I need OBS like right now. It's coming though. It's coming. All right, let's listen to another clip about being in ketosis.
Checking. It must be in ketosis. I mean, I'm eating a lot of fat. I'm eating bacon with all these wild game dishes, everything I eat bacon with, because I need fat. And then I'm cooking everything in beef tallow.
Wow.
Okay, so eating bacon, that's not enough fat. Sorry, Joe. Eating tallow, cooking with tallow, this is all great. It's amazing. But we need to drive 200 grams of fat at the minimum, my people, to get into ketosis. What you don't understand, a lot of people don't understand, is that you could go and fast for a day and register ketones on a glucometer. It's not the ketones. The ketones have to be balanced with the glucose, right? You have ranges. Glucose must be between 75 or 74 and an 83 milligrams per deciliter, and your ketones need to be between a 1.8 and a 3.0 in millimoles. Those are tight, sweet spot ranges. And on top of that, your symptomology has to show that you have sustained energy throughout the day. But let's listen to a little bit more.
And then I'm getting like fatty meat too.
No butter or anything?
I'm using butter.
Okay.
Yeah, you could drink milk. I mean, the idea is like if you were a carnivore, you would take everything out of the body.
Right.
Okay, so you can't drink milk and get into ketosis. There's 13 grams per 8-ounce glass of milk. That's sugar. There's 13 grams of sugar, rather, in an 8-ounce glass of milk. But in his case, he probably felt a lot better if he's touring and he's talking and he's up late. And he also said he was drinking alcohol in this video, which I don't have timestamp, but yeah. So he's cooking in beef tallow. Let's go into his discussion about the ounces of meat that he's consuming.
You can eat whatever you want. We'll figure this out. We'll work it out.
How many ounces of meat a day do you know? Like what you're up to? Like
Well,
24.
the good
30?
thing is I have a lot of elk. That's good.
Okay, so elk is very lean meat. Now, I love elk and deer. I eat it. I have it in my freezer. But you have to add a lot of fat to lean meat like that. You'll never get into ketosis. And you can't just eat until you are full. If you guys use a glucometer, you will see that too much protein cannot be broken down and used all as structure. A big portion of that protein is going to be stored and converted through gluconeogenesis into sugar, blocking that keto adaptation on a carnivore diet. And that's why a lot of people will have unsuccess with their hypoglycemia. They'll have reactive hypoglycemia. They'll have thyroid issues, adrenal issues doing a carnivore diet, because ultimately they're not actually in ketosis. If I were to use a glucometer on Joe Rogan, his blood sugar would most likely be too high, and his ketones most likely will not be in a sweet spot. But yet he feels better because he's coming from the world of standard American diet, things of this nature. But over time, the body understands what you're trying to do to it, and things start failing, like energy starts dipping, constipation or loose stool. People start to develop doing a carnivore diet. They start to become bloated. And if people aren't looking at the quality of meat, their skin is super reactive on a carnivore diet when they went to this diet to stop that. But yeah, I don't think he actually says how many ounces. I don't think he does.
But I'm running through it. You know, I'm eating some big ass chunks of meat.
Is there something that you go to a lot, like chicken wings or something like that, just because it's easy?
No.
Okay, so chicken wings It's an omega-6. The fat is omega-6. Not terrible, not the best. It doesn't have the same nutrient density as red meat. But yeah, how could Joe Rogan do this better? First of all, I would take down his meat to most likely, and I know he's an athlete and he runs and does MMA or jiu-jitsu. I would time his meat around his workouts. I would get his fat probably closer to 300 instead of 200. 200 grams of fat is the minimum. And I wouldn't just count the meat fat. I'd be adding at least 167 grams of fat to the plate beyond the cooking process, and then the rest of the fat coming from the meat that he's consuming. I probably have his fat between 75 and 95 max, broken up throughout the day. Yeah, I'd definitely make sure he was on magnesium, potassium, and getting his sodium amount balanced with enough water. I think with a lot of these people, they don't consider their electrolytes tanking. Now, they didn't discuss any electrolytes. I'm pretty sure they didn't. He didn't take any. He did talk about being in ketosis. He talked about cooking his food in tallow and eating gobs of meat and not actually counting per gram. And then he talked about the stool. He talked about some other things in this video, but I just wanted to cover the gist of breaking down how Joe Rogan did this diet in his own words and how I would do it better. Like, he did say he was drinking alcohol, so I would do the sober October again. I would have him definitely, if he wants vegetables, ride the line of carnivore for that prebiotic fiber. I'd have him on this diet for at least 3 months, and I would time it around his workouts. Definitely, like trying to do a fat bump pre-workout, post-workout, fatty meat post-workout. I would definitely make sure that his blood sugar was stable and his sleep was good while doing this. I would monitor his blood sugar and check to see if his blood sugar was doing this and that. And yeah, I would put him in ketosis without a doubt. If he feels or felt good doing it this way, can you imagine if it's done the correct way? Yeah, that's my breakdown. If you guys want to learn more, go to stephanieperson.com. You guys know that September is the month I'm going to release the challenge. Signups will be in September. Also, I have a course that you can go sign up through stephanieperson.com. My Instagram is Stephanie Ketogenic. My Facebook is Stephanie the Business Person. And check out the next videos. Yes, I'm learning how to do this social media thing after a gazillion years of being on YouTube. Not that I want to. I just want to help you guys, or just want to teach you guys. And I don't have to do all this other stuff, but you guys to do it. Yeah. And I'm out. Energy! 55 going on 56. Peace.